So at this stage, everyone, let's bring it back. At this stage, we have a vector. We need to re-extrude these systems. But the crazy thing is, the vectors are all broken up into sets. Yeah. So we need to restructure all this data the same way we restructured the data above. Luckily, we can kind of group some of this information together in order to do that. So let's clean this up a little bit in order to make this a little bit more clear. First off, I'm going to show you a trick that's going to take this surface output and basically allow you to like package different groups of information and not worry about all these wires going everywhere. So here is what I do. And first off, I'm going to kind of pull this backwards a little bit. Yeah, put it like that. Actually, we don't even really need that stuff anymore, but we'll keep it there anyway. Did I show you guys the wireless display yet? No. All right, this one's super cool. All right, so these wires that we're connecting things with can be turned off. I mean, you can sort of make them less visible. Hold on, let me pull this over a little more. You can make them less visible by putting it on faint, and then it doesn't really disturb your eyes so much. That's one option. But the option that I really like particularly when I have one value that's being plugged into a bunch of different places, is wireless. And it's going to look like this, and then I'll show you kind of the better way of doing it, but it just totally disconnects it. But that's not the one I really want to make wireless. Let me go back to default here. What I like to do is connect two params next to one another and then make a wireless one. So this one right here, I'm going to rename this. Make sure I absolutely know what this is when I plug it into other places, and so I can connect the dots between my different wireless elements. So I'm going to call this base surface. Actually, you can call it base curved surface or something like that. Something that's going to describe that surface to you. So let me give myself a bunch of room here, and this base curved surface I'll pull back, and I'm going to make two of them. Yeah, copy, paste, and plug this one in right here. So it's kind of duplicating information, but don't worry about it because this is going to be our wireless connector that I'm going to override things with. So you guys don't have to worry about this, but I'm going to just turn off flatten because I don't need it. It's redundant. But you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, make this one wireless. Like that. So now anywhere I move this, I know this, even if it's over here or at the end or 1,000 feet below this part of my definition, I know that it relates to that base surface. Okay. Now, I'm going to go through the process of segmenting and separating all the things that I'm doing. Okay, so first off, this set right here is my new set. So I'll pull this down a little bit and separate it and pull a base curved surface there. And then just reconnect all of those connections to each one. So that means I can connect this to G, this to S, and this to S. And now that becomes a totally isolated system that when selected still relates back to that base curved surface right there. I took these and I just pulled them down. Then I took my wireless base curved surface and I just reconnected all the surface inputs. So it functions the same way, but now I'm free to take this element and just move it anywhere I want. I could put it down here in a totally different place in the workspace, and it still relates back to it via this connection. Okay?
How do you make it wireless? Hidden?
Right-click.
Yeah, right-click and click on Hidden. Wireless display, and then go to Hidden. All right, so that's one of them. The other one that I want to do here is to clean up this so that I can box it together, make a clean group, and then plug it in here. So that it just does exactly the same thing here down there. Okay, so I'll take another one of these curved surfaces and start replacing these connections as well. So I know that the surface is connected to this and that and this.
You copy again?
Yeah, I copied this one and just made another one up here. So when you look at them side by side, those. So I'm going to let you catch up and stretch this out here, but this is what you should have. Okay? Base curved surface, that's this. After it's been subdivided, that's important. And then I put it down here and subdivide all that. That's ready to go. And then base curved surface here, and I have replugged it into all of the panels and the repeat data and the SIFT pattern that I used previously. Making sense? And I'm going to give you a couple minutes and make sure you're ready to go before I continue. Yes. All right, guys, so moving on. Now it's time to clean up that stuff above, okay? Yeah, no, it's a little scary. So to recap what we did, just so you know what we need, what we don't need, right? We have these base curve surface subdivisions right here that we needed to restructure in order to create separate packages of information that were going to get sifted out into different groups that I was going to extrude at different values and color with different colors. So we need to do this same operation in the same way, but with vectors instead. So a lot of this stuff right here that you see is just monitoring. I'm just trying to see how information is being changed. So remember, we have the repeat data. We created a pattern, 0, 1, 3, 2, right? Then we repeated it enough times as we had surfaces. Then we took that whole list here and we jittered it and just shook it up. Then we put it back into the SIFT pattern. And then 0, 1, 2, and 3 got broken out into groups in their reordered position. Okay? So it just used this pattern to break up the groups of surfaces and then split them. Okay? So conceptually, that's all it did. So all of these panels, we don't need. It's just so you could see the information. Wait a minute. Oh, sorry, we need that one. Yeah, we need that one because that's our base pattern. Even I make mistakes. All right. So I'm going to put this in here all nice and neat. Just clean it up, make it look good. Because that's what a professional does. And then I'm going to take this whole thing, copy, paste, oh, sorry, group it like that. You can name the group if you want. Oops. 0, 1, 3, 2 was my pattern. So I'm going to make sure that that's visible.
What if my thing turned red?
You may have just deleted something and it's not calculating. I'll get right back to that. Okay. So green flags. You guys are generally green flags at this point. All right. Well, I'm not doing anything crazy, so I'm going to continue on. All I'm doing here is I'm taking this function. Right now, this is a function, and I'm going to copy and paste it down here so that it operates on this one as well. And you'll notice that it keeps all those old connections, right? You just need to replace those with the new information that you're trying to reorganize. Okay? That would mean the normals, right? Each normals are these, right? So if this is a normal that's assigned to a subdivision that falls into group 0, I need to make sure that goes into group 0. This one goes into group 1. That one goes into group 2, right? So that's why we're doing this. So these normals get plugged into list length. They also get plugged into L. And then you should theoretically be able to start replacing 0, 1, 2, and 3 into the Z value. But don't do that yet, because we need to go over how you apply magnitude to it now that it's just a pure direction vector. There is no magnitude. So we'll do that in the next video. But let me make sure you guys have this before we do that. And let me move this back here so it's a little more clear. Get that out of there. Okay. So this is what you should have here. It should look like that.